Hi, I'm Andrew Strome, and welcome to the first of a series on how to cut woodworking joints by hand. So today we're going to start with the rabbet joint, and it's a pretty basic joint, but a lot of the tools and skills and processes that we go through today are transferable to the other more complicated joints that we're going to be cutting further along in the series. To cut a rabbet joint, really you only require a very basic tool set. I've got a combination square, a marking knife, a marking gauge, a crosscut carcass saw, a mallet, and a wide chisel. So the word rabbet comes from the old French word rabat, meaning a recess. So the rabbet joint is simply an L-shaped cutout. In this case, it's going across the grain, but it can also go in the direction of the grain as well. We've got two contact surfaces that are meeting at a 90-degree angle. We have a shoulder here and a recess. And it's really important that those surfaces are smooth and perpendicular to each other so that the joint registers properly. Rabbet joints really need to be held together with glue and a fastener of some sort. Fastener could be screws, it could be nails, or it could be wooden pins, which are more decorative. So I'm going to lay out my shoulder here using my combination square and a marking knife. And then I'm going to take my marking gauge and lay out, define the depth of this recess. I'm just going to mark the position of that second piece. Take my combination square, and you see I put my knife in that mark that I made. I'll bring the square up to it and scribe a line across. My marking gauge is set to 3/8 of an inch, and so then I'm just going to scribe some lines so that I know how deeply to cut. So I'm going to take my chisel and set it just shy of that knife line, and I'm going to incise the shoulder line all the way across. And once I've done that, then I'm just going to remove a little corner of the wood to give myself a stop cut and a well-defined shoulder for the saw to run in. So I've started on the edge furthest away from me, and I'm going to drop the saw into that stop cut that I made, and then I'm going to keep the tooth line of the saw level as I cut down to my scribed line. I'll check here. That looks good. So then I'm going to take my chisel and just use it to split the bulk of the waste out by going along the grain here. So I'm going to clean up the recess with my chisel. I'm going to take multiple passes because I want as clean a cut as possible, and I'm going across the grain, and my chisel is, of course, as sharp as I can make it. And of course, I'm being careful not to cut all the way across so that I don't spelch the grain on this side. This way. So there we go. So I had a little bit of tear out right there, but I can clean that up with the chisel just by removing a little bit from those surfaces there. But you can see it registers pretty well. And if I turn it this way, see that I've got a nice tight shoulder line. So there you have it, the completed rabbet joint. Thanks very much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.